children, today let's start with chapter number 15, democracy and its key features. So in this chapter, I will tell you about some key features of democracy. So in simple word, democracy means rule by the common people. It is a form of government in which people elect their own representative. लोग क्या करते हैं, अपने representative elect करते हैं. So the word democracy is derived from Greek word demos meaning people and kratos meaning rule of government. Hence democracy is the rule of people of their representative. Well-known definition has been given by Abraham Lincoln that democracy is the government of the people, for the people and by the people. लोगों के लिए, लोगों से और लोगों की. Equality and freedom are two guiding principles. दो guiding principle हैं आपके democracy के, एक है equality, एक है freedom. Equality means that all people are equal before the law and each one should be given same benefits and opportunities. A democratic form of government ensure that its citizens are guaranteed their fundamental rights, जो आपके constitution में mentioned है. A constitution is a set of laws and rules which is based on political unit is administration. Most common country of the world today have democratic form of government like India, America, France. Now different form of government. We have representative form of government in which people vote to elect their representative. Democracy, there are many other system of government that exist. They are monarchy, where king or monarch inherits his court. Constitutional monarch and absolute monarch, there are two types of monarchical form of government. Absolute में क्या होता है, both the head of the state and government. Monarch क्या होता है, state का भी head होता है, government का भी. He exercise ultimate government authority over the country like Qatar, Oman and Morocco. Next is dictatorship. People have no right and all the power rests in the hands of the one man. There is a single ruler with absolute power. एक ही single ruler था और उसकी जो power है वो क्या है, absolute. So most dictators gain power either through a military takeover or by seizing leadership from an existing ruler. Right? Now we have evolution of democracy. So democracy is old as ancient Greek civilization, that is 2500 old. It has been ever changing from the past and it is essential to reconstruct the stages and learn the meaning in the transformed stages. So the first sign of democracy were witnessed in ancient Greek in Athens versus Callisthenes, credited by historian father of Athenian democracy. Right? All citizens except slaves, women and foreigners, they participate in day-to-day governance and they took part in the political decision. इन्होंने political decision में part लिया and they entitled to speak and vote in the assembly. And what they did, they framed laws for the cities and states. इस फॉर्म की डेमोक्रेसी को क्या कहा जाता है, डायरेक्ट डेमोक्रेसी. The political and economic system of feudalism was prevalent in Europe during the medieval period history. It comprises noble, जो land owners होते थे, ठीक है. The vassal who was granted land by the noble and in the exchange for land, the vassal would provide military services. ये military services provide करते थे lords. When feudalism came to end, the law and order was enforced and representative democracy and nationalism developed after 14th century. Representative democracy is a form of indirect democracy where people democratically क्या करते थे, अपने representative को elect करते थे. Legislative bodies which were composed of representative of various groups, they began to emerge. उन्होंने emerge होना start करा. Then we have Renaissance movement. The medieval period gave away So the medieval period gave way to Renaissance movement to rebirth of culture awareness. So in literature, art, science, political, the period was marked by the emergence of powerful states and kings who consolidated their rule and they unite people under centralized system of government. जो control था church का and the monarch over the lives of common people, it was questioned and more people were rediscovered the democratic principle of the ancient epoch. Democracy in England. A significant milestone in the development of democracy was a dominance called Magna Carta, which was passed in 1250 in England. It paved way for the creation of law-making body, जिसको हम parliament कहते हैं. It specially include writs of habeas corpus. Right. Then we have American Revolution. 18th century, American fought to free itself from oppressive and exploitive British. America चाहता था अपने को free करना ब्रिटिश के ऑप्रेसिव और आपके एक्सप्लॉटेड रूल से. इन अमेरिका नंबर ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक चेंजेस टुक प्लेस आफ्टर द वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस. इट ऑल्सो हैड अ फेडरल गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पे फेडरल गवर्नमेंट थी विद द डिवीजन ऑफ पावर. इट्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन केम इनटू फोर्स इन 1789 और यहाँ पे जो प्रिंसिपल स्टेटेड थे वो क्या थे आपके डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस. राइट नाउ फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन. So equality as one of the significant features and which was strongly by the French Revolution in 1789 with the slogan liberty, equality and fraternity. French society was divided into clergy, nobility and rest of the French people. जिनको हम third estate. Third estate of the people declared themselves as a national assembly in 1789 and what they gave rights to people and also right to liberty. Equality and fraternity gave rise to the process of making the constitution and it came into force in 1719. All these revolution events established the principle of self-government and the fact that people are supreme and the idea is central. March to democracy. As the voice of democracy grew louder, more development took place worldwide in 20th century. The women's suffrage movement gained the pace with women demanding the right to vote. In 1893, New Zealand became the first country जिन्होंने क्या grant करा? Universal adult franchise. Now League of Nations, which was formed in 1990, international organization जिसका aim था maintaining peace. Right? जिनका क्या काम था? Peace को maintain करना. ठीक है. And UN was formed in 1945 जिसमें 51 members थे and its strength today is 193 countries. और आप present में कितनी countries है? 193. An international organization UN offers assistance to member states on the request. Right? Now equality in Indian democracies. So in India is a democratic country. We have universal adult franchise. Every adult citizen who is above age of 18 can vote. ठीक है, वो vote कर सकता है. In India, all citizens they formally enjoy the same status. No citizens can be looked down upon for belonging to certain this. Now for rights are as follows. I will tell you one by one. All Indian citizens, they are equal before law. They enjoy equal protection with Indian territory. Right? All Indian citizens are socially equal. जितने भी इंडियन सिटीजन है ये सोशली इक्वल है बिफोर द स्टेट. दिस मीन्स दैट द स्टेट कैन नॉट स्टॉप एनी सिटीजन फ्रॉम डूइंग अ गवर्नमेंट जॉब, स्टडिंग इन गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन और एंटरिंग इन एनी पब्लिक बिल्डिंग. राइट? अनटचेबिलिटी इज इलीगल एंड पनिशेबल. स्टेट कैन नॉट गिव एनी सिटीजन एनी टाइटल दैट वुड बी रेसिपिएंट ऑफ एनी स्पेशल सोशल प्रिविलेज. Equality in other democracy. I have fought against white domination. I have challenged the ideal of democracy in which all persons live together in harmony. Who gave this? Nelson Mandela, who gave life imprisonment in 1964, opposed the apartheid regime. उन्होंने क्या करता है? apartheid वाला जो आपका regime था उसको oppose करा था, and it was the name of system of racial discrimination which is unique to South Africa. It was particularly oppressive for the blacks and they were forbidden from living in area where white lived. So train, buses, hostel, hospitals, school, colleges, libraries, schools, all were separate for white and blacks. Now equality is only formal. So our constitution gives us right to equality, but it does not mean that equality does not exist in our country anymore. So we can say it only means that our constitution formally accept the principle of equality and we क्या करता है? Discourage भी करता है government को from discriminating. Right? We often find the poor people cannot get good medical educational facilities for want of money. Many people they are trying to get cheap government facilities and those who depend on their daily earnings cannot afford to spend long hours waiting in a queue. So we can say that another example was ill treatment. देखो जो ill treated Dalits को ill treat किया जाता था many parts of the country में. Member of caste which face social discrimination call themselves Dalit. And to show that they have been still are humiliated and ill-treated. Dalit's author Om Prakash Valmiki in his body made to sweep his school courtyard instead of being taught with his classmates. उनसे क्या कहा कि आप उन्हें courtyard को sweep करो, ना कि आप पढ़ोगे. Now formal equality in Indian constitution. Every individual in the country Every individual in the country, including male and female person, from all the castes, religion, tribes, educational, economic background, are recognized as equal in Indian Constitution. Still, the equality does exist, but at least the principle of equality of all person is recognized. So we can say every person is equal before the law, whether he is a president of the country or domestic worker, right? No person can be discriminated against the basis of religion, caste, and their place of birth. Every person has access to all the public places, चाहे वो playground हो, hotels हो, ठीक है, आपके shops हो, market हो. Untouchability has been abolished. Now provision of Indian Constitution, अगर हम बात करें Article 15 की, ये prohibit करता है discrimination on the grounds of religious, race, caste or sex or place of birth, right? The state shall not discriminate against any citizen on the grounds of only on religion. No citizen shall on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, disability. Access to shop, public restaurant, hotels, places of public entertainment. कोई भी जा सकता है. The use of well tanks, bathing ghats, roads, places of resorts, किसी को भी use कर सकते हैं. Article 16 क्या कहता है? It provides equality of opportunity, चाहे वो public employment हो या appointment of office. Article 17 declares untouchability and its practice in a form of forbidden and enforcement of an disability arising out of untouchability. In 1995, Disability Act was passed by Government of India, जिसमें क्या था, जो states हैं, that person with disability have an equal right and that government make it possible for them to fully participate in the society. So the government has to provide free education and integrate children with disability into mainstream. It also states that all public places, जिसमें आपके buildings and school हैं, they should be accessible and they provided with ramps. Now, to implement the equality, government has made laws and puts forth several government programs. So we can say now there are several laws in India that protected person's right, जिससे उसको क्या करा जाए, उसको एक dignity और equal treat करा जाए. There are also schemes to ensure greater opportunity for people who did not have this in the past. So midday meal scheme is a scheme. Under this scheme, children जो थे जितने भी government elementary school में पढ़ते उनको खाना दिया जाता, cooked lunch दिया जाता, जिससे वो attract हो और school आए. It helps to reduce hunger of poor students who often come to school. It also helps to reduce caste prejudice. Earlier, children would often go home for lunch and not return to school. बच्चे क्या करते थे, घर जाते थे और वापस ही नहीं आते थे, उनको तो घर स्कूल में ही लंच प्रोवाइड करा था. The mothers who earlier had to interrupt their work to feed their child at home during the day no longer need to do so. So more children who were poor have begun enrolling and they started attending the school regularly. वो regularly school आने लगे. Many complaints have been received for poor and unhygienic quality of food which is served. Government could not provide such facility that some private school with heavy fees could provide. भाई जो private school जिनकी heavy fees होती थी वो इस facilities को provide करते. Even today, people refuse to think the poor as equal, and the law requires, even though persons are aware that discrimination is against the law. और आप continue करेंगे to treat people equally. One of the main reason for this is attitude changes. Attitude जो होता है वो slowly change करते हैं, and it is the only when people begin to believe that no one is inferior and that person deserves to be treated with dignity. Establishing equality is a democratic society's continuous struggle and are in the both individual and various communities. Decision making mechanism. Since the people have the right to express their opinion and have say in it, democracy brings about better decision. Right? It involves many people, number of discussion and meeting, though it makes some time to arrive at the decision. So we can say that at local level, state level and the central level, different representatives are elected. हम different representatives को क्या करते हैं, elect करते हैं. Next we have challenge. Challenge क्या आपकी democracy को, to struggle for recognition. All the person have equal for their dignity has to be retained. No country is completely democratic, but interest in and fascination for democracy often pushes us into taking a position that democracy can address all socio-economic and political problems. The first step towards thinking carefully about the outcomes of the democracy is to recognize that democracy is just form of government. It can only create condition for achieving something. Most individuals today believe that their vote makes a difference to the way the government is run. Acceptation from democracy also function as the criteria of judging any democracy. As people get some benefit of democracy, they ask more and want to make democracy even better. That is why when we ask people, जब हम लोग से पूछते हैं way democracy function, they will always come up with more acceptation, right? So what it shows people have developed awareness and the ability to accept and to look critically at power holder, and it transforms people's status of a subject into that of citizen. Now we have completed this chapter. Hope you understood. Let's meet in the next class. That's all for today. Thank you.